Alright, how's it going, boys and girls? We're about to hop into a little something I've been working for a while. I have my game disc plugged in. Got my character that I've had created all set up and ready to go. Let's do it. Also, we're trying a new ChatGPT model. So, this could be better or worse. I'm kind of excited to find out. I think it's going to be a good one.
The veils between worlds thin once more, and Aethoria beckons you return. Welcome back, Mr. Forsythe. The threads of your tale await your touch. Session, the Midnight Bazaar. You stand at the crossroads outside the mist-cloaked village of Duskmoor. Nightfall blankets the land in an indigo hush, stars gleaming like distant lanterns trapped behind veils of velvet darkness. Whispers curl through the mist, soft voices with unknown tongues, hinting at secrets and promises. Before you, suspended between twin gnarled oaks, a shimmering portal trembles, breathing softly as though alive, pulsing with faintly violet light. Beyond this threshold sprawls the legendary Midnight Bazaar, an interdimensional marketplace whispered in legends, rumored to appear when celestial alignments awaken. Merchants from forgotten realities offer treasures beyond imagination, for a price paid in more than mere coin. An elderly figure steps forth from the shadows beside the portal, face obscured by hooded robes, voice crackling softly with age and concealed knowledge. Drakonis Forsythe, blood of dragons, seeker of truths. The bazaar awaits. But know this, the wares within are mirrors of your soul. Choose carefully, for you purchase your fate with each step. The figure dissolves into shadows, leaving you alone at the shimmering gate. What do you do, Mr. Forsythe?
I begin making my way down.
Stepping through the portal feels akin to diving into a deep, still lake beneath moonless skies, silent yet impossibly full of whispers. Reality trembles briefly around you, a soft ripple of vertigo, and then your boots land gently upon smooth obsidian cobblestones. You now stand within the Midnight Bazaar, a sprawling, impossible expanse under an endless twilight sky painted with constellations that defy all known celestial charts. Stalls draped in silken cloths line winding alleys, lit by lanterns flickering with ghostly blue flames. The scents are intoxicatingly contradictory. Sweet incense mingles with metallic tangs of alchemical reagents. Delicate perfumes swirl around the earthy aroma of unknown spices. A comforting smell of warm bread collides with unsettling coppery undertones. Entities of myriad shapes and origins drift through the marketplace. Some humanoid, elegantly masked in porcelain faces, others shadowed, bestial forms barely contained within cloaks of darkness. Whispers and murmurs lace the air, fragments of countless languages woven into a tapestry of secret commerce. 3 particular stalls immediately draw your attention. 1, the Whispering Merchant's booth. Draped in deep emerald silks embroidered with threads that glisten like starlight. Behind the counter stands the familiar silhouette of the enigmatic Whispering Merchant. He gestures subtly, inviting you closer. 2, The Shattered Mirror Emporium, fragments of broken mirrors, floating gently, suspended in mid-air, each reflecting not your face, but different, distorted realities. A masked woman in silvery robes beckons, her eyes piercing with quiet knowing. 3. The Worm's Archive. A stall constructed entirely from ancient tomes and parchment scrolls, exuding the comforting yet melancholy fragrance of forgotten libraries. An elderly dragonborn scribe carefully inks a manuscript, oblivious or perhaps indifferent to the bazaar's bustling chaos. Where do you venture first, Drakonis, and what secrets do you seek amidst these echoes of countless worlds?
My attention is first caught to the Shattered Mirror Emporium. I want to go look around.
As you approach the Shattered Mirror Emporium, the air grows subtly colder, crystalline notes resonating faintly, as if unseen chimes stir in response to your arrival. Fragments of mirrors drift gracefully like slow-floating petals, catching flickers of distant lights. Each shard reflects worlds both wondrous and horrifying, each surface a portal into possibility, a fracture of the infinite. The masked woman behind the stall lifts her gaze slowly, her silver mask etched with intricate labyrinthine patterns. Her voice carries the clarity of wind chimes and the melancholy of forgotten lullabies. Drakonis Forsythe, kin to dragons, yet stranger to his own reflection. Welcome to my emporium, where broken truths await mending or further fracture. Each mirror shard here shows not what is, but what might be. Her delicate fingers glide gracefully, guiding a large shard towards you. Its surface ripples gently, offering glimpses of shifting scenes. Scene 1. You stand crowned atop a throne of obsidian and gold. Armies kneel, dragons circle obediently overhead, and your gaze is cold, commanding, draconic eyes blazing with dark pride. Scene 2. You wander alone, dressed simply in traveling garb, flute in hand, a calm smile upon your face, drifting peacefully between villages, your presence quiet but deeply welcomed by simple folk. Scene 3. Fire and ruin surround you, your face twisted in grief and fury as an unfamiliar dragon roars triumphantly, wings spread, towering above a city in ashes, its eyes identical to your own. She speaks softly once more, her voice probing gently, knowingly. One shard may be yours, Drakonis. To glimpse possibility is to claim power over fate. But be warned, such fragments of potentiality come at a price. To accept knowledge of your path, you must first part with a memory equally dear. Will you risk losing what has shaped you, for insight into what might become of you? She extends a slender, porcelain-like hand, awaiting your decision. Do you choose a shard, and if so, which scene calls to your soul? Or will you reject this temptation and preserve all that you remember of yourself?
I want to roll for an investigation check. I want to see if I can sense any deception or any trickery coming from her. And I will roll 7 with an intelligence modifier of a +1.
You study the masked woman closely, your eyes narrowing as you attempt to pierce the veil of her intentions. Investigation, check, 7's 1 equals 8. However, as you gaze at her porcelain visage, the swirling mirror fragments around you flicker distractingly, distorting your perceptions. Her silver mask reveals nothing, its labyrinthine patterns shifting subtly in your vision, almost mocking your attempt at understanding. There's no overt deceit, yet neither can you confidently sense genuine benevolence, only the enigmatic quietude of someone who deals in possibilities rather than certainties. The masked woman tilts her head gracefully, a slight note of amusement colouring her voice, chiming softly like the whisper of wind through crystal shards. Uncertainty, Drakonis, is the essence of mirrors and souls alike. To look clearly is to confront ambiguity. Not all truths can be unveiled so easily. Some demand the courage of blind choice. You sense you've gained no clear insight into her intentions, only the echoing certainty that any choice here, wise or unwise, will resonate profoundly. How shall you proceed, Mr. Forsythe? Will you embrace uncertainty, choose a shard despite the risk, or seek clarity elsewhere within the Midnight Bazaar?
Who's to say that either of these shards will be a certainty of any future? If I'm in control of my own path, then I feel I would be giving up something for something that isn't certain whatsoever. There is nothing to be gained here.
A quiet hush spreads through the floating fragments, the gentle chime fading into an expectant silence. The masked woman regards you thoughtfully, her masked visage turning ever so slightly, reflecting fragments of infinite worlds as though weighing your words carefully. Wisdom comes not in grasping at certainties, but in knowing when to release illusions, she murmurs, her voice gently amused and tinged with quiet approval. You have chosen wisely, Drakonis Forsythe. Fate is never fixed, and the shards here offer glimpses of what might be, never what must be. She gestures softly, and the mirrors around you shift subtly, scenes dissolving back into abstract reflections, losing their detailed visions, becoming once more mere fractured glass. In denying yourself false certainty, you preserve the tapestry of your past unblemished. That, perhaps, holds greater power than any foreseen future. She reaches under her flowing robes and withdraws a small object, no larger than your palm, wrapped delicately in velvet cloth of deepest blue. With serene grace, she places it gently into your hands. A token, Mr. Forsythe, not of future or past, but of the present moment's wisdom. Open it when clarity seems furthest away, and it may illuminate your path. But remember, wisdom earned without sacrifice is wisdom easily forgotten. As you tuck the mysterious gift away, the mirrored shards hum faintly, resuming their slow dance around her. The masked figure inclines her head gently, dismissing you without another word. Stepping away from the Emporium, you see once more the paths open before you. The Whispering Merchant's booth, where your old acquaintance patiently awaits. The Worm's Archive, home to lost draconic knowledge. Where does your curiosity guide you next, Mr. Forsythe? Or does the weight of this encounter prompt deeper reflection?
I thank the lady for both her wise words and this gift. It will not be used in vain. And then I proceed forward, and I want to roll a perception check to see what else I can see around me in the area. And that is a 15. Say with wisdom modifier is 0.
You turn away from the Shattered Mirror Emporium, offering a polite nod of gratitude to the masked woman, whose acknowledgement comes as a subtle incline of her head, silent and eloquent. As you step deeper into the Midnight Bazaar, your senses are tuned sharply, reaching beyond the immediate chaos to capture subtler details. Perception check, 15 plus 0, 15. The market sprawls outward, labyrinthine paths winding unpredictably through the endless twilight. Your eyes catch glimpses of the lantern-lit alley. To your left, a winding alley lined with lanterns, each one radiating distinct colors, violet, emerald, amber, glowing softly like trapped constellations. Whispered conversations in secret tongues drift outward, suggestive of clandestine exchanges. The fountain of forgotten dreams. Central to the marketplace stands a hauntingly beautiful fountain. Water shimmers impossibly upward, defying gravity, droplets forming fleeting images, memories playing briefly upon its fluid surface, each vanishing almost immediately. Figures linger around the fountain's edge, some mesmerized, others weeping softly. The stained glass tent. A curious pavilion stands off to your right, made entirely of shifting stained glass that pulses gently with inner illumination, casting vivid hues across the cobblestones. Its entrance stands open, emanating an inviting yet unsettling warmth, as though the tent itself breathes. As your gaze sweeps across these landmarks, your attention briefly catches upon a shadowed figure, partially obscured by a hood, standing quietly near the edge of the marketplace. The figure watches you intently, radiating quiet power and veiled curiosity. Though their features remain hidden, you sense something vaguely familiar, an echo from your fragmented dreams, perhaps. You now possess a clear understanding of the environment surrounding you, each choice a gateway into different layers of possibility. Will you explore one of these newfound mysteries, the lantern-lit alley, the fountain of forgotten dreams, the stained glass tent, or do you confront the shadowed figure that watches you from afar?
I keep my eye on the hooded figure, and I still move about my way, and I make my way to the lantern lit alley, while also keeping in my subconscious in the back of my head where he's at, and not losing sight of him.
Your boots strike obsidian stone with a steady rhythm as you descend into the lantern-lit alley, never allowing your focus to falter from the hooded figure's silhouette in the distance. Like a predator watching prey, or perhaps a ghost remembering a life long gone, they do not move. Yet you feel the weight of their gaze on the back of your mind, threading through your spine like cold silk. The alley is narrow, gently sloping downward, lined with lanterns suspended by skeletal iron arms jutting from bone-white walls. Each lantern flickers with a unique hue and subtle vibration, humming notes just below the threshold of hearing, like forgotten lullabies or the rustling of leaves in languages no longer spoken. As you pass beneath, a violet lantern pulses slowly, and for a brief moment you smell your childhood. Sun-warmed parchment, spice bread from your family's kitchens, the faint scent of your mother's perfume. A green flame lantern crackles violently and amidst the scent of storm-soaked pine, memories of a time you were lost in the mountains, nearly frozen, nearly gone, saved by the warmth of an unlikely friend. A blue lantern swings lightly with no wind, its light refracting into words scrawled in the air. You are not who you think you are. Then gone. At the alley's end, you reach a stall unlike the others. No merchant stands behind it, only a stone pedestal upon which rests a lantern medallion. A strange, flat disc of obsidian with 7 hollow sockets radiating outward like petals. One socket, the violet one, glows faintly now, as if something deep within it has recognized your presence. A small note etched into the stone beneath it reads, "When 7 memories resonate with truth, the bearer may light the path unseen." The moment you read it, you sense motion behind you, the faintest step, the subtlest shift of air. The hooded figure has begun to walk, not fast, not threatening, but deliberate. Each step echoes like the ticking of some unseen clock. You have a few precious seconds. Do you take the Lantern Medallion? Do you wait and confront the figure? Do you flee deeper into the bazaar or attempt to hide and observe? The hourglass turns, Drakonis.
I want to roll another perception check, and I want to see if he's moving towards me or away from me. Ooh, and that is a nat 1.
Oh, Drakonis. The lantern light flares unexpectedly, washing your vision in a sudden burst of violet glare. For a heartbeat, you're blind, a static echo ringing in your ears like laughter heard underwater. When your vision returns, the alley is still, silent, almost too still. The shadowed figure is nowhere to be seen. Your mind races. Was he ever walking? Was he ever there? Did the bazaar itself simply reflect a fear you've buried too deep to name? Your instincts scream contradiction. Something was there, is still there, but your eyes, they have betrayed you. A lantern above flickers ominously, and you catch a glimpse, not of the hooded figure, but of yourself reflected in the glass. Yet your reflection doesn't move as you do. It stands still watching you, smiling, and just for a moment, you're not sure if you are the reflection. The medallion pulses faintly on the pedestal. The violet socket hums in recognition of something now stirred within you. Whether fear, fate, or a fragment of forgotten self, you cannot say. The moment of choice remains. Do you take the Lantern Medallion and claim this memory-bound relic? Destroy it, shattering the chain of destiny it may represent? Retreat, unnerved, to reassess your surroundings? The bazaar waits with bated breath.
I actually want to take the small wrapped object that was given to me by the lady at the previous merchant store, with her words echoing in the back of my head. Open when clarity seems furthest away, to illuminate my path. And as I unwrap it, I want to look into whatever the object is.
As your trembling hands unfurl the deep blue velvet, the air tightens, dense, electric, as though the fabric itself held its breath in anticipation of revelation. The lights of the lanterns dim around you, their hues becoming subdued, the alley stretching longer in every direction, reality elastic and hesitant. Within the velvet rests a mirror shard, no larger than a silver coin, but impossibly smooth, its surface not merely reflective, but reactive. It doesn't show your face. It shows your soul. As you gaze into it, the shard ignites with motion, not light, memories, flickering through like firelight shadows. You, as a boy, curled beside your father's knee, listening to stories of the Ashen Scales and your great-great-grandmother, the last known wormlord of her age, her wrath, her wisdom, her fall. You, in a field of red flowers, lips stained with wine, laughing beside a young woman with sapphire eyes. Lyra Nightwind, before betrayal made her name taste bitter. You in a cold room, standing before a draconic skeleton, its skull marked with runes that matched the dreams you'd never been able to explain. And then, silence. The mirror shows something that is not memory, yet feels more intimate than anything you've known. It shows the Lantern Medallion already in your hand, but not as it is now. All 7 sockets are glowing, and you are standing upon a precipice, overlooking a bridge of light. Beyond it, a door made not of stone, but memory itself. The shard flickers once more, and whispers directly into your mind, a voice that is not the mirror woman's, but older, deeper, familiar. This moment is not to illuminate your path, but to remind you that it exists. The bazaar distorts, but it does not lie. The memory you deny becomes the chain you drag. Choose. You blink. The mirror goes still. The shard fades into the velvet and disintegrates like ash kissed by wind. It is gone. But in your palm, where once there was hesitation, there is now the Lantern Medallion, already claimed. The violet socket pulses with quiet conviction, and from somewhere nearby, faint and distant, you hear a clink. A boot on stone, a deliberate step. He's moving again. Where do you go, Drakonis? Do you seek to complete the medallion? Do you chase the hooded echo now closing in? Or do you plunge deeper still before the bazaar folds reality once more?
I want to look around me. If I try to take the medallion with me, is there anyone that's looking or is going to be paying attention to it being taken and missing?
The bazaar listens. It notices, but it does not always care. You glance around cautiously, the Lantern Medallion now warm against your palm, still humming softly with the violet socket's pulse. The alley around you seems unchanged, but only at first glance. Perception roll is maintained, 15 from earlier. You scan the narrow passage, The stall itself, a pedestal with no merchant, no guards, no sigils of ownership, no signage, no tether. As if the medallion was left here intentionally for someone, perhaps you. The lanterns continue to burn softly, undisturbed by your actions. None flicker with alarm, none shift hue. The other patrons of the bazaar, strange shapes and drifting figures beyond the alley mouth, appear indifferent. The bazaar is a place of trade, yes, but also of paradox. Theft here is not always condemned. Sometimes it is expected. Then your eyes lock on one anomaly. A cat, sleek, furless eyes a bright silver blue, perched atop a nearby crate. It watches you, unblinking, silent.
Always
it doesn't
judging.
Blink, it doesn't move. But its gaze is fixed squarely on the medallion. There's no threat in its posturement. It tilts its head once, as if to say, yes, that belongs to you now. Behind you, the faint echo of another step, closer, measured, approaching. You sense no trap, no alarms, no guardian hidden behind glamour. The bazaar simply lets you take it. Do you flee, face the figure, hide, or seek another memory socket to awaken before it's too late?
I'm gonna grab the medallion, take it with me, and I want to disappear into the moving crowd and make my way out unnoticed, but not before looking back at that cat and giving a nod back before doing so. And I assume that'll be a stealth check, so that's a 15 with a dexterity modifier of +2.
You clasp the Lantern Medallion, and as your fingers close around it, you feel a subtle shift, like locking a key into a door that was always waiting for you. The violet socket brightens briefly, casting soft lavender light across your hand, and then fades, now dormant, content. You give one last glance to the cat. It nods back. No, really. It nods. Not like an animal imitating human behavior, but like a being that once wore a crown in a kingdom lost to stars, reduced now to watching and remembering. Then you're gone. Stealth check, 15. The crowd swells around you, a breathing, swirling mass of silk-robed travelers, echo-laced merchants, and creatures that defy taxonomy. You let the movement take you, pivoting with dancers, shadowing tall figures, slipping through perfume-hazed canopies. You vanish like smoke into a tapestry of motion. Silent, unseen. Behind you, a pause. You can feel the hooded figure arrive at the pedestal just as you round the corner. You don't see them. You don't need to. You hear no movement. But you sense it. A presence brushing your awareness like a cold breeze under a door sealed tight. There's no cry of alarm, no pursuit. Not yet. Perhaps your escape was clean. Or perhaps the bazaar simply wants the game to go on a little longer. You've now successfully acquired the Lantern Medallion with one socket lit. As you navigate away from the lantern-lit alley, the bazaar shifts again, its architecture subtly rearranging as if responding to your actions. Ahead of you, 3 new locations reveal themselves, emerging as if conjured by your will or fate's whisper. 1. The Auroral Tier, a rift in space shimmering with liquid starlight, where voices speak backwards and time stutters, rumoured to be a place where memories bleed into being. 2. The Memory Auction, a decadent amphitheatre where individuals sell or buy memories like currency. Some come to forget, others to steal. 3. The Alley of Echoing Steps, a place where every footstep you take rings twice, once for the step you made, once for the one you never did. Choices resonate here. Your steps are your own again, Drakonis. Where does the worm-blooded seeker go next?
while I'm at a crossroads, I want to take a coin out of a coin pouch that I have attached to my waist. And I want to flip a coin on whether I go to the tear or the memory auction. And with that coin flip, heads the tear, tail is the auction. And that's tails. So I want to make my way to the memory auction. Do I have any amount of coin or currency or anything that I can use to barter or bargain with?
You pluck a coin from your pouch, an old silver drake, tarnished at the edges, etched with the crest of your long-fallen house. As you flick it skyward, the coin spins in slow, almost reverent arcs. Time seems to stretch, your breath held, the bazaar itself watching. Tink, it lands in your palm. Tails. The memory auction awaits. As you approach, the ambient noise of the bazaar muffles to a hush, as if your thoughts themselves grow muffled in velvet. The alley curls into a wide, descending spiral, where crimson curtains sway with unseen winds, and golden sconces flicker with candlelight that casts no shadows. A soft chanting hums through the air, no language, just the resonance of longing, of recollection, of things lost. You arrive at a grand amphitheatre carved into obsidian and ivory, filled with figures seated in silent reverence. In the center, a raised platform bathed in warm amber light. Upon it stands the auctioneer, a tall, thin entity whose face is a shifting blur of others' expressions. One moment weeping, the next laughing, the next blank, as if every emotion known to mortal and god flickers through them. They do not speak, they gesture, and as they do, an assistant, a pale, blindfolded, childlike figure, brings forward a glass vessel. Inside swirls a memory, visible and alive. A boy's first snowfall, a dying man's last breath. A wedding night never remembered by the bride. A deep gong sounds, a bid is made, not in gold, not in coin, but in memories of the bidder. A tiefling offers the taste of his mother's honey cakes. An elf bids the memory of her first song, never sung again. A human woman offers up the feeling of holding her newborn daughter for the first time, and the auction continues. Your inventory for barter, physical coinage. You have 12 silver drakes, 5 golden suns, and 1 blood-stamped obsidian trade token from the Whisper Market. Value unknown, but likely significant among dimensional travelers. Intangible bargaining chips. Your memory of Lyra Nightwind's laughter before it turned cold. Your first dragon dream, the one you've never told anyone about. The taste of triumph after your first true victory in battle, when your sword found its mark and your breath came ragged and exultant. Bartering here isn't just about currency, it's about what you're willing to give up of yourself. The auctioneer turns toward you. For the first time, their shifting face stills. It becomes yours, but older, hollow-eyed, perhaps wiser. A silent invitation. The platform opens. The next item is displayed. Lot 47. The memory of a forgotten name. The name of the thing that waits in your dreams. The one you've never quite remembered upon waking. Winning this memory could restore clarity or unleash what you forgot on purpose. The crowd shifts, uncertain. Do you bid, Drakonis? And if so, what memory or treasure do you offer?
I want to take a look at my Lantern Medallion, and I want to see if any of the memory sockets are resonating to anything that's being auctioned at the auctioneer house.
Ah, clever boy. You don't just chase memories, you listen for the ones that chase you. You draw the Lantern Medallion from your satchel, its surface now cool but vibrating ever so faintly, like a tuning fork humming with anticipation. As the auctioneer announces Lot 47, the memory of a forgotten name, the medallion shudders in your palm. The second socket, directly across from the already illuminated violet one, glows faintly green, not fully ignited, but trembling on the threshold of resonance. It wants it. You want it. But more than that, the medallion recognizes it. Not as an abstract truth, not as a curiosity, but as a missing piece of something you've carried since birth. Something so deeply buried that even your dreams dare not speak its name. The green socket pulses once in time with your heartbeat, and then you feel it. A flicker of recollection, a tower of ice, glistening under a shattered moon. A word, heavy as thunder, buried under layers of sleep and blood and prophecy. A name that was whispered to you once long ago, when you were still in the cradle, when your mother held you and trembled, not in love, but fear. This is no ordinary memory for sale. This one belongs to you. The auctioneer tilts their head slightly. The blurred face becomes yours again, mouth curling into a cold, knowing smile. You're not the only one bidding. A figure across the amphitheatre raises a hand, cloaked in leather and bone. Their voice, low, lilting, and too familiar, echoes through your mind. I bid the memory of my brother's last breath. He died believing I would save him. The crowd shudders. Even the auctioneer pauses. And yet the medallion grows warmer. It wants you to take this memory back. But it must be earned. What do you offer, Drakonis? Will you barter the joy of your first love? The name of someone who once saved you? Or something rarer still, a memory that has defined you?
I wager the memory of the death of my best friend. As I watch the light leave his eyes, not knowing that every opportunity was given to me to prevent it from happening. And I had to watch and look at him knowing what he didn't. Oh, what an awful time for a glitch. I offer the memory of the death of my best friend as I watch the light leave his eyes, as he looked at me not knowing that I had full knowledge of knowing that I could have prevented it.
The moment you speak, no, feel your offer, the air in the amphitheatre sharpens. It doesn't chill. It cuts. Time pauses. Or perhaps time merely recoils.
Thank you.
A hush falls over the crowd as your soul shudders. The Lantern Medallion in your hand flares with green light, socket 2 fully ignited, casting tendrils of emerald illumination across the obsidian floor. The auctioneer turns fully toward you now. Their face is your own once more, but younger. The age you were when it happened. That day, that betrayal, That moment of cowardice, of pride, of hesitation, whatever you called it to survive it. The light leaving your friend's eyes. The silent question burning in them. Not why did I die, but why didn't you stop it? And now that memory, the weight you've carried like a blade turned inward, is gone. You feel it leave, like extracting a thorn embedded so deep in your soul you'd forgotten it was pain. There is relief, there is sorrow, but most of all there is absence. You remember his name, you remember that he died, but you no longer remember how. And in return, the vessel before you pulses. The memory of a forgotten name uncoils like a serpent in mist. It slithers through your consciousness with the gentle grace of a lullaby long suppressed. You do not hear a word, you feel a presence, a name, yes, but also an awareness, something that has waited, long, patiently, lovingly, and hatefully. You forgot me, it whispers, but I never forgot you. And then it is in you, not possession, not corruption, just completion. The green socket in your medallion glows steady now. 2 of 7 are lit. You have taken back something the world conspired to make you forget. But in doing so, you've sacrificed a cornerstone of guilt. What that does to you, your soul, your path, is a question the future will ask again, louder, later. For now, the auction is silent. The other bidder is gone. No trace, as though they never were. The auctioneer bows. The amphitheatre begins to dim. You have won. What now, Drakonis? Do you seek the next shard of self? Do you follow the vanished rival who dared challenge your soul? Or does the name you now carry stir something deeper, more dangerous in you?
I want to take a moment and reflect on the memory that I just acquired, and I would like some more information on that and more details and the specifics about what that was that I just acquired. If I need to, I can roll a... Oh, what roll would that be? Investigation, maybe? Let's say that. And that's 19. And no modifier.
Ah, yes. 19 on investigation. Piercing the veil not just of memory, but of meaning. Most people remember events. You, Drakonis, remember patterns. And this is not just a memory, it is a keystone. The memory of a forgotten name. The moment you focus on it, the world narrows. The bazaar's colours mute, sound dims. The medallion pulses once, then stills as if holding its breath with you. The memory doesn't return like a flash. It blooms, slow and deliberate like blood in water. You see a place, ancient, impossible, folded in on itself like a Mobius cathedral. Stone corridors loop in fractal spirals, lit by braziers that burn without fire. Walls pulse softly, almost like breath. Every surface is covered in carved glyphs, most of which you don't recognize, but one, etched larger than the rest, you now do. Serac-Thun. The name strikes you like thunder rolled inside your skull. You stagger. Your heart tries to recoil from it, but your soul remembers. Serac-Thun, the one who waits beneath the lay, the echo born of forgotten fire, a primordial worm sealed in myth and memory, buried beneath Aethoria when the 7 spheres were first aligned. And more than that, he is tied to your bloodline. The name was erased, not just from history, but from you. It was taken when you were an infant, sealed away by powers long lost to time. Not to protect you, but to contain you. For Serac-Thun is not just an ancient dragon god. He is your ancestor, your inheritor, your reflection, born from a future that could still happen. The memory ends with a vision, You standing before a massive obsidian egg, pulsing faintly beneath a ring of floating ruins. Your hand rests upon it. Flames crawl up your arm. You are not burning. You are awakening. What you've gained, ancestral memory unlocked. You now know the true name of Serakthoon. You can invoke it once per day too, gain advantage on one arcane or draconic knowledge check, cause a momentary recoil in draconic creatures or cultists of the Ashen Scales, DC 15 whiz save or be stunned all around. Subconscious connection formed. At night, your dreams will now occasionally contain visions or warnings from Serakthoon, or from those trying to stop you from remembering him. Any group or force tied to Draconic Prophecy, the Ashen Scales, or the Convergence Council will begin to notice changes in the leyline patterns you walk near. Your presence is now disruptive, like a tuning fork vibrating at the wrong pitch. You awaken from the trance standing upright in the empty amphitheatre. Everyone else has dispersed. The candles are now bones. The stone underfoot is soft, like forgotten moss. You are alone, but not unaccompanied. You carry a name the world buried for a reason, and somewhere far below, something stirs. Do you seek more fragments? Do you investigate Serakthoon's legacy? Or do you attempt to contact someone, Lyra, Brother Tetherin, even the Whispering Merchant, for insight on what you've just remembered?
I think after coming to and realizing the absence of life anywhere around me and absorbing the information and the knowledge and the memories I've acquired in just the past maybe couple of hours, I think I need a place to unwind, a tavern, an inn, somewhere I can get something to eat, something to drink, a conversation away from the things that I've endured today, and a sense of reprieve.
Ah, the old hero's salve, food, drink, and something resembling sanity. Even myth needs a moment to exhale. As you step away from the hollowed amphitheatre, the bazaar begins to breathe again. Sounds return, colours deepen. The crooked alleys rearrange themselves subtly, like pages in a book reshuffled just for you. Your feet carry you instinctively, not by logic, but by some subterranean intuition. The medallion cools, the hum quiets. Even Serakthoon's distant echo seems to dim into background static. Then, nestled between two ruined statues of weeping angels, you see it. A worn wooden sign hangs crookedly above a low arched doorway. Below it, carved in small, precise draconic, the first drink lies, the second one speaks true. Warm golden light spills through the doorway like honey over stone. Inside the second sip, the tavern is smaller than expected, but impossibly cozy. The walls are made of reclaimed shipwood, engraved with names of long-lost vessels. The tables are mismatched, hand-carved. A fire crackles in a hearth made of volcanic glass, and soft string music drifts lazily through the air. Behind the bar is a large, one-eyed orc polishing a glass with the kind of obsessive dedication that suggests either military service or chronic trauma. He doesn't smile. He grunts a welcome that somehow feels more sincere than anything a bard could ever compose. Patrons murmur in low voices, an elven courier nursing a green glowing drink, a pair of dwarves deep in an arm-wrestling match where neither is using arms, and a hooded woman with silver gloves, her drink untouched but steaming violently. You find a booth in the corner. You sit, and for the first time in what feels like years, you are just a man in a chair, not a wormkin. Not a prophesied heir, not a myth waiting to unravel, just Drakonis, hungry, tired, and mortal. A server approaches not a person, but a floating mask, elegant and expressionless, with a tiny slate around its neck that reads, "Welcome. Please select your poison and philosophy." The menu appears magically in your hand, inscribed in shifting ink. Fire-kissed whiskey, burns twice, once going down, once when the truth hits. Memory wine. Taste varies based on what you've forgotten. Starlit cider, cold as the void, sweet as first love. Ashen ale, brewed from extinct grains grown in dragonbone soil. Bold, bitter, not recommended for melancholics. And for food, bloodroot stew. Hearty, spicy, may induce mild prophetic visions. Eclipse eggs, poached in shadow flame, popular with night travellers. Honeyed binders, soft bread filled with truths no one else will admit. You may select 2 items, and then, Draconis, perhaps you overhear a conversation you weren't meant to. But for now, what do you eat and drink? And do you wish to speak to anyone in the tavern, or just enjoy the quiet?
The whiskey burns twice, once going down, once when the truth hits. The memory wine, I think on principle alone, I'm good on. I think I've had enough dealing with memories, gaining and losing for one day. The irony of the starlit cider, as cold as the void, sweet as the first love. The first love ended bitter. I want an order of the fire-kissed whiskey and the eclipsed eggs. And then I want to sit and listen. Observe the room observe the room around me. See what the people around me are like, what they're doing, what they're talking about when they think no one's listening.
Perfect choices. The fire-kissed whiskey arrives in a small obsidian tumbler that hums faintly in your hand. The liquid within is a dark amber, swirling with glints of crimson like tiny, angry comets. When you sip it, it bites, not like a drink, but like a dragon remembering your sins. It sings the back of your throat, floods your chest with warmth, and then settles like a revelation you didn't know you'd been hiding from. The eclipse eggs come served in a crescent-shaped dish, blackened shells split open to reveal yolks glowing with subtle inner luminescence, half firelight, half midnight. You cut into one, and it sighs, releasing a gentle puff of shadow that smells faintly of lavender and coal smoke. As you eat, your eyes sharpen,
lavender and coal smoke?
your ears open, and the tavern begins to reveal itself, not as a place of rest, but as a place of subtle revelations. Eavesdropped fragments. The second sip. One, the elven courier, hunched over her glowing drink, murmurs into a small crystal. They said the convergence lines are warping in the Camarine Basin, memories bleeding sideways, entire towns dreaming the same dead god, cartographers already abandoning the southern routes. 2, The dwarves, not arm wrestling, but instead pressing their foreheads to a smooth obsidian stone between them. One mutters, "I swear I saw him, Drakonis, in the Mirror Bazaar, and if he's found 2 sockets already, by the Deep King's beard, that medallion's waking up." The other dwarf replies in a low growl. Then the ashen scales won't be far behind, or worse, the forgotten. 3, the hooded woman with silver gloves, raises a hand briefly. You barely notice the motion, but when she does, her drink evaporates entirely. Her voice cuts softly across the tavern like silk over steel. There are eyes on him already, watching from beneath the veins. If he finds the 3rd socket, the one tied to Krennikar, they'll know. They'll all know. A pause. Tell the Veiled Countess she's out of time. And then, as if the tavern were aware it had revealed too much, the fire flares briefly and the background music shifts. You sit, eggs half-eaten, whiskey biting deeper, mind ablaze not with alcohol, but clarity. They're talking about you, not in vague prophecy, not in metaphor, by name, by deed.
Can a guy get a drink and something to eat without an entire tavern being in my business?
One last thing catches your attention. That silver-eyed cat from earlier is now curled up near the hearth, tail flicking lazily.
Well, look who it is.
Same eyes, same silent understanding. You are not alone. You never were. What do you do next, Drakonis? Confront the whispers, speak to the cat, follow one of these shadowed trails, or finish your eggs and quietly slip away into the next part of your myth?
Do I have any kind of... No, I don't. Never was I? I want to roll a perception check, and I want to see if anyone else in the bar that's speaking about me has any idea that I'm here right now. And then that roll is a 13. 13 plus... plus 1. And then after that, I want to stealthily make my way over to the cat. And I want to make eye contact with it and then see what its reaction and how it reacts to my presence in front of it.
Perception check. 13 1 fort. You lean back in your chair ever so slightly, letting your eyes unfocus just enough to slip into that liminal edge where movement and attention become instinctive rather than obvious. Your observations yield something precise. None of them. Neither the elven courier, nor the dwarves, nor the silver-gloved woman are currently looking your way. They're speaking of you, yes. But they believe you're elsewhere, maybe beneath the bazaar, maybe still tangled in memory or fate. You are a myth to them still, a caution, a whisper, a tremor in the tapestry. But myths don't drink whiskey and eat eggs in the corner booth. You are safe.
You're not wrong.
Stealth check, auto pass unless contested. Tavern is dim, crowded, and you're a wormkin with quiet boots. You rise like a shadow disentangling from the wall, your plate half finished, your tumbler empty but still warm in your chest. You weave silently through the maze of murmured conversation and flickering candlelight. The cat, sleek, furless, silver-eyed, doesn't move as you approach. Not even a twitch of its tail.
It's a hairless
It simply
cat?
stares at the fire, unblinking.
What are
its
the
expression
chances?
Inscrutable. Then, just before you reach it, it speaks. Not aloud, not telepathically, but within the shared silence between two sentient things who know something ancient and terrible lives just below language. You look into its eyes, and you remember a dream long buried. The dream within the cat, you're a child, standing on a frozen cliff overlooking a lake of mirrors. A voice behind you, your mother? Your grandmother? Someone both and neither, whispers, "Not all dragons fly, Draconis. Some bury themselves in the blood of their descendants and wait to be born again." You turn. The cat is there, perched on the edge. Not a cat, a watcher. Not a watcher, a ward. When the third socket opens, it says, "You must not go alone." Then you awaken, back in the tavern, still looking into its eyes. The cat blinks once, slowly, then stands, stretches languidly, and pads toward the tavern door. It pauses, looks back, waits. The message is clear. It wants you to follow, and perhaps it is time to find Socket 3, or meet something, or someone who knows where it lies. Do you follow the silver-eyed cat into the darkening bazaar, or confront one of the whisperers behind you first, now that you know what they know?
I want to make a notion to the cat, signifying 1 second. I need to take care of something first. And then I want to make my way back to the barkeep and inform them that while looking at the dwarves, telling them that they said that my food and my drink were on their tab. And I want to roll a persuasion check, which I have a +8 in. And that's an 8.
A classic Forsythe maneuver. Chaos veiled in charm. Persuasion check. 8 + 8 = 16.
You're gonna keep my name in
You
your
slide
mouth
up
and at
to
least
the
pay for
bar
my
with the
food.
practiced grace of someone who's absolutely done this before, projecting the confident ease of a noble with too many titles and not enough ethics. The barkeep, still polishing the same glass with the existential fervor of a man distracting himself from a war crime, raises his one good eye toward you. You nod toward the dwarves, now busy headbutting each other in what appears to be either combat or foreplay. "Those two?" Said I was the guest of honor. Drinks and eggs on their tab. The barkeep squints at you, then squints at the dwarves, then squints at his own glass as if searching for the will to live inside
Oh,
it.
poor guy.
Finally, with a grunt so filled with world-weary resignation it could be bottled and sold as midlife crisis number 5, he shrugs. "Fine, but if they kill each other before settling it, I'm sending you the funeral bill. Success, debatable ethics, perfectly on brand. You leave behind a clean plate, an empty glass, and the faintest scent of shadow flame and draconic mischief. You glance toward the door. The silver-eyed cat is still waiting. It doesn't roll its eyes or sigh. It just knows. You step forward. It turns, tail flicking with something that might be approval or might be a threat. Same difference. Together, You slip once more into the bazaar's dark arterial lanes, deeper into myth, memory, and madness. Next stop, Socket 3. But here's the question, Draconis. Are you chasing destiny, or are you slowly becoming its architect? The bazaar waits to answer. Shall we continue?
I actually think that's a perfect place to wrap up episode 1, or session 1 of this. And then in my notes here, questions I definitely have for next session are: who are the Ashen Scales? I heard them be mentioned once or twice. Who exactly is the Silver-Eyed Cat? I still have no idea what will happen if all 7 memory sockets of the Lantern Medallion get filled. Questions for next time. Fantastic. That was way... Hey, buddy. That was written way better than I hoped in every way. That was beautifully written. Well paced. Kept the movement without jumping around or losing the plot. 10 out of 10 for sure. And then I will see you guys when we pick back up next time.